Okay, you guys, we live. Hey, you. How many people in there? You said 25.
Yeah, 20.
Oh
Hi,
wow.
y'all.
Hey y'all. Hopefully y'all had an amazing holiday. Um, and everybody didn't eat too much. Did
Listen,
y'all do anything? Did y'all cook or go to see family or anything?
Um.
I was on a date.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
okay. That's why you had so much fun. You said.
Oh yeah, you gotta fill us in on that one.
I went to
um,
a couple of different cookouts,
Okay.
but I didn't cook.
Oh, you said not this time, right, Keish? Cause
Nope,
you
not this
always
year.
cooking. All right, so welcome you guys to Soap Corner Talk, where we're going to recap The Young and the Restless and the Bold and the Beautiful for the week of June 29th through July 3rd. We did not have Beyond the Gates last week, obviously, but they are back. I did not see today's episode. Was it good?
I didn't have a chance to look at it either.
Okay.
Beyond the Gates.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was a pretty good episode.
Okay.
Kat gave her answer to Tomas.
Did she say yes or no?
She told him no. She said
Okay.
not right. She said she wasn't ready right now.
Okay. Was he hurt?
Um, he was hurt, but it wasn't like he ran out of the house embarrassed or anything like that. He was basically like he understood where she was coming from. He was bummed, but he got it or whatever. So like she took him out of
Mm-hmm.
the room after he proposed, and
Mm-hmm.
they discussed it. She was like, we didn't even want to, we weren't even ready to live together yet. This is a little too soon. Blah blah blah. And he was like, okay. And then they walked back in the room and
Okay.
said that Kat called it their dress rehearsal for their real engagement later down the line.
Okay. Okay. All right. Other than that, it was okay, or I'll check it out when I get a chance. But I was just
Yeah.
curious. Yeah, I didn't get, but I had to see what happened on Bold today just to get that little 18 minutes in.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I cannot wait to get to Bold.
Yeah, I
This
see a lot
one,
of people in the chat is talking about let's get the Bold. Aisha is ready to go.
yeah, we can definitely get Y&R out the way because there really wasn't.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
Y'all
right.
know I don't have nothing to add to Y&R, so I'm gonna just mute myself and listen to
You say you
you
finna
guys
mute
talk.
yourself. Oh my gosh. All right, so make sure y'all hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you have not. Make sure you follow on Instagram. There's a Facebook group, and also on the other social media platforms like TikTok as well. I don't know if you guys have been following on Instagram. I did put a big verses on Instagram when it comes to Steffi and Hope, and it got a lot of engagement. So I appreciate those that are listening who really engaged in that particular post. And it kind of gave a rundown of who did what to who and who's at fault, because there's a lot of folks, obviously that is Team Hope for making a decision to run from Forrester because they agree with her about the fact that she's been marginalized, right? And then on the flip side, there are other folks who's like, she's spoiled, she's entitled, she's gotten everything that she's wanted, and they're on Team Steffi's side. So I kind of wanted to put that out there as a fun little thing. If you haven't followed, or if you are on Instagram and you haven't seen that, go take a look. I had to pull history. I know it's probably not all of it, but you'll see a list of things on both sides for both of the ladies. So that's some of the fun things that I do put on Instagram to keep you guys engaged. I also did a couple of videos this past week just with me. I didn't have Serena do them, and I noticed that you guys really enjoyed them. Y'all enjoyed hearing my voice again. Kind of gave myself a little bit of a break. I might start getting back into that and move that over to my other channel. So, because I know you guys really, really, truly enjoy when I have the standalones, and, I kind of give my commentary on stuff. So we'll see. But make sure you subscribe so you can get those notifications and then also follow on the other social media platforms. I got Bree on the line. I got my girl Keisha on the line. So it's the whole crew this week, and we gonna talk about. I know y'all ready to get in the bowl, but we gotta knock out Y&R first, get them out the way, and then we gonna go ahead and get into the bold and the beautiful. Y'all ready?
Yeah, this won't really take long for YNR
Mm-mm.
because I don't know what they're trying to make up with the sweeps, and clearly this is the tail end after Josh Griffin has left, so we're
Mm-hmm.
getting the scraps,
Yeah.
literally.
Exactly. Hopefully, whoever is the new writers, I can't think of the writing team, whoever that is, and the new executive producers, they turn this thing around over at Y&R because it's just been a hot mess for the past few years.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I remember when I first started this podcast with Keisha and I, we had a lot of stuff, fun stuff to talk about, even with Y&R. That's way before Beyond the Gates, and then of course we had Bold. But over the past couple years, it's just been, eh, you know. So
Yeah.
hopefully
Mhm.
it switches up. All right, so let's go ahead and get into Y&R. Um, we got to talk about what happened last week. Pretty much this whole Patty, Diane, and Jack situation. We had this goofiness with Matt Clark trying to befriend what's the
Kane.
Kane Ashby, and then of course Matt trying to go on dates with Phyllis, and then Audra trying to one up Sienna by trying to get back with Noah, and then of course the whole thing with the tumor on the optic nerve of Nikki Newman and her surgery. So that's pretty much what we had most of the week. Where you want to start out, Bree? Because I know Keisha's bowing out on this one.
We can probably get Nikki out the way.
Okay.
I'm glad that she made it out of surgery. That's a scary thing. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. But I think the performances from Melody and actually Melody and Eric Braeden were fairly good because we actually got to see some form of emotion
Mm-hmm.
for a split second from Victor, which is rare. So you got to catch it when you can.
Mm-hmm.
But I wonder how long she's going to be blind for.
Yeah, that's a good question. It depends on, well, they film how far in advance? Like 4 to 6 weeks, right?
Yeah.
And I'm assuming that this was probably filmed maybe the beginning of mid-May.
Yeah, that's my assumption because I think both of the soaps they should be like on the summer break because I keep seeing like their videos on Instagram like
Mm-hmm.
from their vacations.
Okay.
And I think at least on the Bold side they're back to filming. I think they're working on September's episodes now.
Okay. Gotcha.
So I'm curious to see how long Nikki's going to be blind for, but that is a great awareness storyline. I think they picked the right person to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, after tomorrow's episode, Victor is still petty. So this only moved him somewhat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but again, we're right in the middle of a writing and executive producer switch. So who knows how they're gonna turn this around? Did they? You said they went on vacation. So did the switch of the whole staff happen while they went on summer break? You think?
I think so.
Okay, so
That
now
would
that
be the
they come
perfect time.
back and they're writing for stuff coming up later in the summer, early fall, I'm assuming we'll see a change or a shift in storyline by
Yeah.
then. Okay, so right now we got to deal with the tail end effects of what happened, what Josh Griffith put together.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Yeah,
I think
well,
the Patty storyline
I don't know what. First of all, we already had issues with the Patty storyline because it was SA, right? And
Yeah.
then you extend it by making this whole situation where you kidnapping people after the major crossover with Beyond the Gates, that whole mix up, and then um turn around. Now we got Patty setting up and framing Diane for something that she. It's just not. It's not jiving for me.
It's not. We can definitely get into that because I think that was the meat and potatoes
Of the week.
of the week, just to knock it out. I got to give Diane some props because I was worried for a second. I'm like, girl, you're not trying to utilize anything as a weapon to throw at him, to choke him out, something. She got the sense to be, okay, let me flirt with him. A man is still a man. He gave in. And she's like, I'm going to take the sleeping pills and I'm going to put it in his food. And this was actually stupid on Markham's part. So you're going to allow her to go into the kitchen where there's knives?
Right. Girl, he
And
actually thought that Diane was truly into him that fast.
you can tell he ain't had none in a while.
Right.
The fact, I'm like, okay. But you're going to let her in there with the wives, the pots where she can get some water, boil it, boil some grits and throw them at you, anything. But she's like, I'm going to crush those pills and I'm going to serve some cake up to you, or whatever she served them. That was actually pretty slick. That was pretty smart.
Well, hold on. There's a couple of things I want to address in the comments. So, Frenchie was asking, who is Colleen?
Oh, okay. So if anyone remembers back when like Lily was like in high school, Colleen used to be Lily's best friend. Colleen is Tracy's daughter who passed. Patty was the cause of basically Colleen's death. And there's a lot of resentment with Jack and Billy about the fact that when Patty pew-pewed Victor, he got Colleen's part and didn't change anything. So it's like she lost her life pretty much for no reason and gave Victor her heart to try to save his life.
Right.
So this was a very sad storyline. She was in a love triangle for a while with Victoria and JT and like sweet girl, but that was Tracy's only child and unfortunately lost her life at the hands of Patty. She was one of Patty's victims, one of many victims. So when Tracy brings her up, like that makes me sad, but she used to be best friends with Lily.
Right.
And that's why you see Lily and Tracy so close.
Yep. And then Sawana Jenkins, she was saying that she hoped that they don't believe Patty. Well, stay tuned for tomorrow's episode, according to Bree.
The stupidity of the police, that's all I'm going to say. It's so stupid. So stupid.
Yep. So, all right. But yeah, I just, that whole thing, and it was just stupid on his part to actually even house this woman. He would never call the police, even though Kyle asked numerous times. But he figured that he could handle it. And then,
to be honest, sorry to cut you off. I see Jack's point after tomorrow. But what's the point of calling the police?
well, yeah, I mean that part. But the thing is that maybe if Diane wouldn't even get caught up in this whole framing situation if they had nipped this in the bud a long time ago.
They should have nipped it in the bud after Maryland when she attended the fundraiser with them. She should have been home by then.
But the other thing is there's some other moves that was not smart. When you outed Patty about the whole Markham situation and Diane being on the way home and all this type of stuff, she ran. This is where you should have made sure that girl was out of your house. You just automatically assumed that she was gone. And then you turn around, turn your back when you do see her. You turn your back on her. Why would you do that?
once again, here's another foolish man letting this woman around the knives and the pots and everything. And that was unfortunate. That took me by surprise. It's like, oh my God, they're really going there for this week.
Exactly. I mean, and
Like, I'm
she
like,
was so
Jack.
unhinged because she started talking about the afterlife and it's so beautiful there and we'll be there together. I'm like, okay, this is just too much, really. Because I guess she was like, if I can't have you, nobody can.
Yeah, this was just insane. And then we got Monday's episode that was today.
Mm-hmm.
So this woman is crazy enough to slice up her arms and then say, oh my gosh, Diane, she did this, she did that. And I'm like, the timing of this all doesn't even add up. How are the police even remotely believing Patty of all people? And I'm like, Kyle is a primary witness. He had to
Exactly.
go and get his mom. He
Exactly.
tried. He. We had dialogue where they reached out to police. Actually, at the beginning of this, before Patty moved in, didn't they have a sit down with Burroughs at the Abbott house?
Exactly. And the
So
other
why
thing
is
is, they also had an investigator follow Markham around and all this sort of kind of stuff too. So there was always movement outside of Diane being anywhere remotely close to that house. They just got there. There should be cameras on the property when you have a house that big.
and you're a
Normally,
billionaire?
and you're a billionaire, normally there is cameras on the property. You mean to tell me that nobody took a look at what happened on the property? Seeing them just pull up to the house, seeing them looking around for, where's Jack? And he's already on the floor bleeding out. It just doesn't make sense. That's why I just can't get with the storyline because it's ludicrous at best. And then, like you say, with tomorrow's episode, oh, they just automatically, this girl been unhinged in a psychiatric ward for years, and then she come out saying that she's reformed. Y'all already know what happened on the boat, and then you turn around and say, oh yeah, we're gonna let her off the hook for right now.
Yeah, the fact that she's free, but Diane is facing 2 charges.
It just doesn't make sense. It'd be
The,
different if they got into a fight. Like when we saw with today's episode of Will and RJ, there was a physical altercation. Then you might have some plausibility of saying making up something. But they just walked in the house. And the
right,
only reason that she got blood on them because they tried to help Jack off the floor.
exactly. That is in. Why is your assumption that he was stabbed with like? It could have been anything, but
Mm-hmm.
you see the knife, you see the bloody clothes, and you just assume that Diane did it.
It's just dumb. It's
And
lazy writing to me.
it really is. And this is so disappointing. I keep talking about, like, we need the police. We need somebody on the show that people can get held accountable. But this is just stupid.
Javon, what is it? Javon Atkinson in the chat said even people in apartments have a ring camera. Good grief.
I got a Ring camera. I, I understand completely. I got cameras throughout my house. I don't play that because anything could happen. But y'all are billionaires. Y'all don't like to lock your doors. You don't believe in real security, no cameras. People just come in and out of your house. You let crazy people from psych wards just cook in your kitchen. Like, this is insane to me.
Mm-hmm.
And y'all believe the crazy person who just was magically released from a mental institution.
Mm-hmm.
You're not even remotely trying to look into that background at
Mm-hmm.
all.
Yeah, Frank G Life I7B said this show is just all over the place. Have no clue what's really going on.
We'll never. They don't even know.
Mm-mm.
They are literally just taking things and then throwing it against the wall and seeing what sticks at this point. So I was saying in the group chat, this is a SUV reject storyline that they're
Mm-hmm.
doing.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And
And that
and
whole
now
thing
Jack,
with her beating up herself, making her look like she was a victim, reminds me of that movie with Martin Lawrence and the old girl. Thin line between love and hate, where she wanted to get
yep,
him in trouble because by beating herself up to make her look like she was bruised.
yep. That's a accurate description right there. That's exactly what she did.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness. But I gotta hand it to Patty. I mean, she was acting her tail off. It was very convincing.
Yeah,
I
what's her
mean,
name? Stacey Haydick.
yeah, Stacey Haddock,
Mm-hmm.
but the talented actress. But she made that very believable. I'm like, oh my gosh. And it was believable to the point where Diane is now facing 2 charges.
And the man, and he's somewhere in the hospital unconscious. What? But see, that's the thing. At the end of the day, what do Patty gain from that? You still didn't get dude.
Yeah.
You went through all of this. You dealt. You did the thing for Victor and got paid. Essayed the man on the boat, and then you turn around and you still won't let go after he'd already told you he don't want you. And you went through all of this. Sent made him or not. He didn't, because Jack chose to do that. Put his sister, his son, his grandson out the house and brought this lunatic in. And now he done bled out on the floor somewhere.
Yeah.
And he actually
I
thought that plan was going to work.
he this is where Victor is kind of right about Jack. I hate to say it, but he doesn't execute any of his plans correctly.
Mm-mm.
Like, I mean, granted, this is a situation not a lot of people know how to, you know, navigate through, but like, you're a man with some money.
Mm-hmm.
Use your money. Hire like decoys. Hire get get something in motion to at least protect yourself. You're the head of the house.
I know, right?
You're the you're the patriarch.
Yeah, that whole
Like,
thing is crazy. Gail said the whole Patty thing reminds her of Fatal Attraction.
actually, I think they're probably taking notes from that.
They're
I think
taking
that's
notes
what.
from a lot of different things, and they actually thought this was going to be enough shock value for July sweeps that we was going to be like, oh my God.
Yeah, they really want us to forget about the essay storyline.
Yeah, that ain't working. It made it worse.
Yeah.
All right,
So
I'm so over that. Girl, what do you think about Noah and Audra and Sienna? I actually like the chemistry between Noah and Audra.
me too. I love that she is like annoying Sienna, and I just don't like the Sienna character. Well, I love the actress; she's a talented actress, but I don't care for Sienna. But I love their chemistry. I want Sienna and Noah to break up some way, somehow. I
Mm-hmm.
want him and Audra to be together. He's more. I don't know. It's like a sexiness about him, like I don't know, he just is more attractive to me with her.
Mm-hmm.
It's just something about that chemistry, and she's just like the girl who plays Miss Dillon, where she just has chemistry with any and
Everybody.
everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's a gift practically. But yeah,
I wish that
she
they would just put them together. I mean, Sienna and Noah is just, there's nothing exciting about watching those two together.
no, and it's I keep forgetting they're together. And here's my thing. Why are they still living at Sharon's house still?
Girl,
I'm like,
I,
Sharon,
mm-hmm.
of all people, you gonna let this lady who's practically your peer lay up in the house with your son?
Exactly.
In your house with your son?
Girl, like I said, hopefully they clean this up because and maybe move Sienna somewhere else. I don't know about Nick. Maybe put them in a whole situation with Nick and Sharon, but
Well, Sharon's got to be in a situation with Nick. She's been trying for years still, and
I
Nick
mean,
say keeps
Nick
saying
is a free, he's a free agent. So, I mean,
he he been single for a couple years now, right?
yeah, I mean, wait a minute. The last relationship he was in was with Sally, right?
Was it Sally or Phyllis? Yeah, it was Sally.
It was Sally. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Because Phyllis broke up with him because she thought she was about to get back with Jack before Diane came into the picture.
Right.
I hated that because Phyllis had a lot of chemistry with Nicholas, and they were making it work and all this so kind of stuff. And the moment Jack started playing, yeah, I like you, yeah, I don't. Remember that whole storyline? She kicked Nicholas to the curb only to end up with nobody.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, okay, Jenna.
what'd she say?
She said, I think it's a take on what Diane did to Phyllis. You know what? They did rinse and repeat that storyline.
Oh, that's because I didn't understand. I saw Jenna's comment. She said, read her comment. It's a rerun. And I was like, which one? Which comment?
That is a rewrite. Oh, so this is actually Diane's karma. Okay, I get it now. I got it.
Okay. Now it makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Jenna. But I mean, same way we want Phyllis to have a love interest. Nick is this gorgeous, handsome man. He's in his 50s. He still hasn't aged a day. The salt and pepper gray hair makes him look even more. Give him a love interest. Would he and Sienna even have good chemistry? Is my
Well, he
question.
needed to figure out that whole drug addiction first before he get
Yeah,
with anybody.
that is true.
Mm-hmm.
I maybe they might put those two together. Maybe she might be a shoulder to lean on, or how Nick like to put his cape on for his women. So
Mm-hmm.
that's a possibility. But I don't know who else they would put Sienna with at this point.
I mean, he would probably be, like I said, the only free agent right now. I mean, Matt doesn't want anything to do with her. Matt is more interested in Phyllis right now because he asked her out on a date.
We got to get to this part.
Go ahead.
I love Roger.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even going to say his last name. And I love the chemistry that he has with Michelle. When it comes to the characters, I'm struggling to be on board with this love pairing. Same way with Keish. Because this man was an S.A.er.
Mm-hmm.
And I find it really odd how Phyllis would accept a date with this man, knowing that she has a friendship with Sharon, for one, and she claims to say that she loves Nick and will always love Nick. Knowing what Matt Clark has done to the both of them, you would still accept a date. And then us as a viewer, the way they keep rehashing the things that Matt Clark has done, is like, granted, I know some people don't like Phyllis, but why would we still want that for her?
And see, that's why they got her in dialogue continuously saying, but he's not that same person. But he has changed. He's not that same person. And that's why I think they keep pushing that in her conversation, because of the fact that they're trying to, I guess, wash away his past. They're trying to rewrite the character. That's what they're doing. And they're having, because he's trying to be in a relationship or date or get to know Phyllis or whatever this is, they are allowing her to be the acceptance of him instead of him pushing it.
And I think the only uncomfortable dialogue, I think from yesterday's episode, where she said, like, oh, I was in the same room with him, I've been around him, and I feel safe. Okay, that's you then. he has several victims who don't want to be in a room with him, who are uncomfortable with him, and they should feel how they feel. And I don't like how SAers, I feel like it's being normalized, because we have Patty roaming around and they're treating it like a comedy skit, like on social media, for what happened to Jack. And then the stuff that happened with Matt Clark, you have a woman who was a victim, not a victim of his, but a victim of SA herself, vouching for this man as if that cleans up what he's done. And that's the part I'm having a hard time with, me as a
Gotcha.
viewer.
That makes sense. That definitely makes sense. I totally get it. I mean, it's just like, but they, just like they, well, I mean, Sheila Carter hasn't been an SAer, but she was definitely a sadistic.
No, she was.
Well, okay.
That's how she got married.
Mhm.
She SA'd, what's the doctor's name? Dr. James Warwick,
Oh,
when he
okay.
was drunk. And that's how she got pregnant.
Gotcha.
So there's a lot of SAers throughout both soaps. And I understand that there was a time period where that happened, the 90s, 2000s. It's not as polarizing. It's not as, there's a lot of social, thoughts out regarding SA just in general, to where I don't think they need to have like repeat stories of people who've been SA'd and then normalizing the SAers. They might as well just go ahead and just do away with those types of storylines, or like have it like every now and again as like a PSA moment or dialogue and like an awareness storyline. But to normalize it, it's just, I don't know, I can't gel with that. It's just weird.
Gotcha. That's understandable. I'm
And
trying
I
to look in
hate
the
this for
comments.
Roger.
Yeah, and but that's the thing. He's such a good actor, and because they brought him on as this horrible character, and now they're like, well, we need to keep him around, but he's been written into a horrible corner. How do we fix this?
I don't think they'll be able to ever fix it, just given what the character is.
Yeah, and I but see, there's the issue is that there's part of the soap fan base that doesn't have a problem with him. There's other
I
parts of
love,
this other. I'm not the actor. They don't have a problem with the way the storyline is going.
I
And but
mean,
and on our side, we're looking at it like, yeah, it's kind of,
I'm trying to go with the motions. It's just hard for me to gel, because every chance they get in every episode, they bring up his past and what he's done to people. And it's like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
I want this really for Phyllis. I don't know. But chemistry wise, they have phenomenal chemistry. They really do. Is it enough to compensate
That's
what
a
we
good
know that he's
question.
done? It's I don't know.
Yeah, it's questionable.
Yeah.
So,
And on top of that, would we want to see a scene with Phyllis in that, knowing what he's done?
I
A love
mean,
scene.
we can't speak for everybody. We could speak for ourselves. To say, yeah, that would be kind of knowing what's in, his history is, and then you got other folks that just say it's just a soap. So,
Okay.
yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, people look at things subjectively. It's like, okay, well, I mean, hey, it's just TV to me, so whatever.
So then Remy should be forgiven for what he's done.
Yeah, we'll talk
Sheila should be
about.
forgiven for what she's done.
Well, I mean, there were a lot of people who, and I was a Shecon fan.
Me too,
So
actually.
yeah, so it's it's an interesting position to be in when you write a character that's been around for so long and has such
Mhm.
horrible history. Like we was just talking about Sheila Carter, Matt Clark, and some of the other folks that Cameron, but they got rid of the Cameron Kirsten guy. But it's just yeah, it's subjective. I'll just say that because some people really don't
And-
care. They don't care. It's just like
Right.
it's TV.
I'll say this. This is where I'm glad that Josh has left because I think this show desperately needed a change of course, a fresher perspective on the dialogues and the characters and the direction that they want the characters to go in, at least for the longevity of the show.
Mm-hmm.
And I think after the last 6 months, it was very telling that it was a bunch of ridiculousness. And it was just, it's a lot of odd stuff that just been happening. That's kind of hard to feel entertained by. It just created more rage baiting, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping for the last part of this year things will turn around and things will get better. But yeah, I was about to say hi, Deborah.
That's what I was
Since
gonna
you
say
finally,
too. She said, "Oh my God, I finally caught alive. Love you guys so much." Well, welcome. I did put a welcome message in the chat, so I'm glad you enjoyed the show. You must be listening to all of the replays, which is fine
yeah,
too.
there's some new faces that I've seen in the chat because I'm like, oh, I haven't seen that name before. It's like, oh, welcome, guys.
Yeah, like
If you guys are new,
I am Leah Unfiltered. That's a new one. Prissy H. There's a lot of new
yeah,
faces in here.
Frank G. Light, yeah, welcome, guys. I mean, if you guys have caught it live before every now and again, we thank you. Thank you,
Mm-hmm.
guys.
Jules C 3089. I'm just going backwards through the list. We have our regular people that's been our ride or dies, like the Cheryl Hines, Sawana Jenkins, Gail Lewis, Melissa Spencer, Aisha, Jenna, of course. Jenna has actually
Of
been
course.
a co-host a couple times over the past several years. So all of you guys, we really appreciate you. Medora,
Yes,
hey Medora,
all our
Lachelle,
usual suspects.
Lady Blue. She said, "Hi, everyone." Who's that? Somebody else. What
Hi.
does it say?
Hey.
Miranda Lingerfelt. Oh my gosh, all the new
Hi.
faces.
Welcome, guys.
Hmm.
So you guys came here for the roasting of Electra. Thank you for
Oh,
coming.
oh my God! Listen, my hubby does not watch soaps, but he was really into today's episode when we were watching about that whole thing with Will and Electra. He was like,
what did he what did he
well,
think
here's the
about
thing.
that?
I had to give him a little bit of a backstory because at first he was like, well, he should have told Electra. I'm like, you don't know the history. Yeah, but after I kind of got him up to speed a little bit, he was like, oh, yeah, he don't owe her nothing. So, but
he got
anyway,
it together real quick.
right. All right. Anyway, but yeah, you guys, I see a lot of the folks. Rose Noble, hello, hello, hello. Rosalind Brown, hey.
Wow. I
She,
love
oh, Miss
that.
V Young said, please don't forget about her. Girl, we ain't forget about you.
Ever.
You one of the OGs. One of the OGs. All right.
Yeah.
Um, then we had Matt trying to have a conversation with Kane, and then he decided to spill the beans about what Victor want to use him for. I didn't understand. I'm like, why did you tell him? To get closer to him by telling him that? That part didn't make
Yeah.
sense to me.
At all. And I'm like, Victor pretty much has your life in his hands. He could turn you into the police. And that whole arrangement where he's able to live on the ranch and still able to go on dates and get money in his pocket and all these different things. That is crazy to me. But the one assignment you were given, you tell the whole grand scheme to Kane, and
Mm-hmm.
okay. And once again, this is leading to nothing and nowhere.
Yep.
I don't even understand why Kane is giving this man the time of day.
Right.
He too happy. He don't know what he's thinking right now. Lily is breathing the same air that he is, and that's all that he wanted.
Yeah, and then he
But
handing out jobs like crazy. So I think last week, of course, he gave Billy an opportunity, and then this week it's like he gonna give Holden an opportunity. I'm like, okay, whatever.
I can understand Holden. That
Holden,
makes perfect
right?
sense.
Mm-hmm.
My
Wait.
issue with Billy, this speaking of crybabies, I forget who just said crybaby. Allison Combs. We know Electra. She's going to get that award for sure. But Billy is still crying over moldy milk at this point. Why are you still worried and pressed about Chancellor? You can't move on and move forward. Your mother is dealing with a heart condition. You got a whole baby. You're about to get married. You would think there'd be other things for you to talk about, but you're mad that Lily gave Kane a job. You're mad at your mom for what she did a couple of years ago. That company has changed hands at least a couple of times by now. Why are you still pressed about that?
Mm-hmm.
It's just so. I'm like, okay. I'm like, Sally, this is what you signed up for.
Yeah,
You
he's
deserve this
lying
role.
to
This is all
himself
you.
because he keep telling people that he giving up the whole chancellor idea and he's moving on with his life and he's happy about being, getting engaged and having another child on the way. And then the moment somebody brings up chancellor, he gets triggered all over again. And I'm like, so you're really not over chancellor?
Right.
It's an addiction.
Mm-hmm.
It's an addiction at this point. And I can see why Sally was always in her feelings because there's absolutely nothing more important to him than Chancellor, even
Mm-hmm.
still to this day. And I
Mm-hmm.
think this is a bad decision. I'm glad Lily caught that too, to hire Billy over at Chancellor, because if anything, he's going to try to find a reason to undermine Kane for that top position.
Mm-hmm.
That's all this is going to happen.
Yep. It's
So, I mean, what did he offer him? Like research and development,
Yeah, he's gonna
R&D?
head up R&D, and I mean he was excited about it. He was like, "Let me think about it," and him and Sally's gonna talk about it. And I'm like, "You don't have a job right now." Now, granted,
Right.
do I think that he should be that whole Kane and him working together? I just don't. He's already still butthurt about it. Where is he gonna just have a change of heart and say, "Okay, sure, I'll answer to you"? I don't see that happening.
Nope.
So,
They're off answering to Sally. He was perfectly fine being her second in command. That
yep.
might be the best, be second or third in command to Sally and Audra.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if it's too much to work over at Chancellor and you don't want a lesser position, then you don't have to work there.
Mm-hmm.
But my issue is like, why is he so mad at Jill?
I don't know. It's this whole thing that, with Kane, it seems like she's more proud of him than it is. There's a like kind of like a sibling rivalry between those two.
Yeah, they'll never get rid of that
Mm-mm.
where Billy is concerned. But I think didn't he reference the isn't he still mad about Jill selling Chancellor?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, from 3 years ago. How many times has Chancellor changed hands?
Right.
Oh, he ain't never gonna let her live that down.
Mm-mm.
Ever.
You didn't believe in me. You don't have faith in me. You think I'm a screw up. Well,
This has been Billy's side. Like, he whines about this every other year.
mm-hmm.
About people not believing in him and calling him a screw up. And every other year, it's either Jack or his mom.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I need them to have a storyline of Billy actually getting some therapy and growing up.
Well, remember that podcast was supposed to be some therapy that he had with Chelsea.
Mm-hmm.
He and Frank G Life, yeah, Billy can't keep a relationship to save his life. He can't keep a job to save his life even more. At most, he'll keep a job or a company for 4 to 6 months. He's always off to something new. So his mother makes a point. He can't stick to one thing. So it's
Right.
hard to have faith in him sticking into one thing.
Right.
At least Kane, he was a whole billionaire. He stuck to that for 6 years to build his own company that he foolishly let fall to the wayside.
Mm-hmm.
But at least he has a proven track record that he knows how to run a business. That's why Lily put him in charge, somewhat. But what is Billy's track record? He can't keep a woman. He can't keep a job. He can't keep his thoughts together. He can barely change his draw. So, like, how can anyone have any faith in him in anything?
I don't know. I mean, he just, yeah. If he gonna make a go of it with Sally, then just he technically need to get himself together. You know, I mean, this whole Chancellor thing, and then with Kane dangling this carrot of just even having a piece of access to Chancellor is going to ruin him. Because, like you said, all he's going to do is try to undermine Kane to get the company back.
Yeah,
And then he's
that's
going to
all.
go head to head with Lily again.
Yep. And then it's going to eventually change hands again once Nikki gets her sight back, and she's going to want Chancellor. And Victor's going to find a way to get that company back for her.
Yep.
So it's not even going to stick anyway.
Right.
But my thing is, Jill funded Abbott Communications when he wanted to start his own company.
Right.
And that wasn't good enough. She funded, what did they say? 50 million, 50,000, something like that, 500,000. I know it was with the 5. A lot of money for him to start his own business because he was looking for an investor. And she wanted to show that she had faith in him. How long did he keep that?
Mm-hmm.
He was quick to sign over that company to Sally on a Kleenex, on a piece of napkin.
Yep. I mean,
So
he
he don't even
actually
have faith
had
in
2
himself.
companies come through his hand. That one, and when he was able to acquire Newman Media. It's like, dude, you
Yeah.
had 2 companies just pass through your hands, and you didn't get to keep one of them. You
No,
gave them
just
both.
gave
You
it.
gifted Newman Media as a Valentine's Day gift, even when Sally was about to kick you to the curb. That could have been your opportunity to keep it and fix it and do something with yourself.
Yes. But he don't have faith in himself. He still needs validation from everybody, and he doesn't even have a proven track record.
That's
And this is
right.
why he really hates Adam, because at least Adam has a background to run business.
That is true. I am Leah Unfiltered say Jack did that. He did. There was one time not only did Jill help fund, but Jack gave him some money too.
Yep. He gave the startup money,
Yep.
and then Jack pulled the funding once he got into an argument with Jack, and he got in his feelings. And then Sally was trying to find an investor, and she reached out to his mother, and she decided to be an investor. And even when he found out about it, he was like, "Oh, okay, oh well." And he was still trying to go after Chancellor.
Yep. So
And it's
he's
like
had
his family's
plenty of
family.
opportunities. Plenty. You know, I mean, and it's always something. He always self imploded, I would just say.
Yes, and exactly, Jenna. This is why we need new writers. Yes, because how many years is Billy going to be crying over Chancellor? It's not even his family's company.
I mean, his own mom, who's that? His own mom walked away from it. She don't even see it as a legacy for herself, but you want to just make it that way. You're an Abbott.
Yeah.
Your
You're an
daddy is
Abbott.
an Abbott.
Go work over, if anything. So you want to subject yourself to working underneath Kane, go work underneath Jack or Kyle or whoever.
Mm-hmm. Really, the only ones.
Especially,
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, especially now that we know that Jack is stabbed up, they're going to need a person. Kyle's going to need a right hand to help run the business, especially since Diane's going to be facing charges. So this is a great opportunity for him to go work to Jabel.
Yeah. I
His
mean,
ego too big to work under Kyle.
That's unfortunate. This is why Ashley is coming.
mm-hmm.
Well, they said in the dialogue that she's coming, so I guess
Yeah, it
we'll,
was in
we'll
the
see
spoilers.
Eileen.
Yep, it's in the spoilers. Somewhere at the end of this week, she'll be here.
But wouldn't that have been the better outlet for him to go to is to Jabot to help protect his family, his own family legacy?
Mm-hmm. You would think.
If he can't be the top man in charge, he don't want it. That's why. Remember, that's why he left the last time,
Yep.
because he didn't want to share a co CEO title. He didn't want to be COO. He didn't. At one point, he didn't want to work under Kyle. He just it has to be his.
Mm-hmm.
So, but he did it for Sally, so I guess it only works for him when he can get some box.
He, he getting something out of it, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All right.
Yeah, that was the week.
Yeah, I can. We did see a little bit of Holden and Claire.
Holden and Claire, and then Lily is eventually, I guess she's about to give up the box too to Kane somewhere in sweeps. We can already kind of see that.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's it.
Yeah, that whole thing with Jack and Patty took up a lot of the week.
Yep.
And then the other storyline with Nikki and her surgery.
Yep.
And the rest were like little filler pieces, with the Audra and Noah and the Matt and Phyllis and the Matt and Kane. And so, all right. I know everybody ready for us to get into bold.
Oh, yeah.
I know, Keish, you ready to dive in, girl?
Mm-hmm. I'm ready to laugh.
Oh my God. Okay. So a lot went on last week. It's coming off of that cliffhanger of what was that? 26th of June the 26th, where Hope got on that runway and revealed herself as being the mystery designer. I mean, the mystery line, because her brother was the designer. And Forrester lost it. They lost it. They were upset. They felt betrayed. Um, Brooke definitely felt betrayed. She think that her sister screwed her over, and that Hope is just some little flower who was manipulated and stolen, and I gotta go get my daughter back. She had all that going on. And then we had this whole situation with Hope passing out this past week after her showdown. Because there was a couple showdowns. There was a showdown between Katie and Brooke. And then there's a showdown between Brooke and Hope. And then there are the other little small micro showdowns that turn into something bigger this week, especially today, is this whole thing with Electra and Will. And then Remy popped in under the disguise, as y'all can see in that corner, trying to get Deke to take him back. So, all right, let's start out at the beginning of the week where we had the huge confrontation between Hope and Katie.
Oh, goodness. Brooke, I lean towards her side when it comes to Hope, and I'll get to those reasons later on. But when it comes to Katie, my thing is Brooke would love to run down her resume about how she's a businesswoman. So why can't she see that this is a business move, a business acquisition? So if anything, Hope went over to her other family. She is a Spencer.
Yeah.
We saw the 3-day wedding episode and back in December.
Mm-hmm.
So 6 months in, she's a Spencer. So I mean, did Katie play on those words that, hey, oh, I get all the Spencers? Yes, but that was Brooke's stupid fault for not putting the two together. Your daughter takes a leave of absence. She's never at the house, can never reach her, and it's all the secrecy about who the designer is or what direction Katie's going to go in. You would think with her experience, she could put the two and two together. But no, she's still crying and complaining. She stole my name. She stole Eric, and now she stole my daughter. No. Katie didn't steal any of them. First of all, Logan was always her name, too. Y'all have the same genetics. So it was always her choice, her name. And Eric, he wobbled and hopped his way over to Katie because he got his feelings hurt. And then Hope, her patience was wearing thin because she couldn't get her line up fast enough over at Forza Creations, even though she didn't deserve hope for the future.
Right.
I get why she would, I guess, call herself feeling betrayed, but it's just goofy. And then the fact that she threw, I was cracking up when she threw, was it a rock, a coaster or something at that TV at Katie?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
How about that?
Yeah, she did.
Yeah. I was like, oh my gosh. Like, she is heated, but in my opinion, this is a very lukewarm feud. I was expecting Brooke to really give it to Katie, and then the insults coming in, like, let it build. Let it actually be a real full-on feud. Let them actually feel like they hate each other. Like, it would justify something with this feud. But you're going to let Katie just be passive? You're going to let Brooke say all these things?
Yeah, that's where they got me at because Brooke had the microphone that whole conversation, and I'm like, Katie, you just gonna let her keep talking? Say something. I mean, she said a little bit of something, but it wasn't enough of a big clap back.
Like, you took my husband, or something like that. She brought up Bill. But I'm like, you could have, like, Katie could have brought up the fact that, oh, you tarnished the Logan name, you slept your way to the top. Like, she could have really
gave it to her.
Build that up. Yes. And Brooke could have been like, oh, you know what? I had all these men dancing around me, including your husband, a time or two. And I can still have them. And I can still have this. Like, make this a full-on feud. Like, both of these actresses are incredibly talented. You can give them material to really let these two characters have it out. And I would live for it. But it was lukewarm to me.
Yeah, I agree. What you got, Keish?
I feel like there's two different things Brooke is mad about. She's mad about Hope lying to her, but she's also mad that Hope is over at Logan. And I feel like she would have been mad about Hope going over to Logan, even if Hope would have come to her and said, I don't want to work at Forrester anymore, I'm going over to Logan. She would still be beside herself and upset at Katie and feeling like Katie manipulated her, because Lord knows Hope can't make her own decisions. It's always somebody else's fault. Somebody manipulated her, or somebody pushed her into doing something because they mistreated her. But I can understand, and I think I said this last week, I can understand Brooke's anger about Hope lying to her, because there was literally no reason for Hope to lie to her. Like, that's the part of the story that still doesn't make sense to me. What was the point of her lying? But Brooke being angry with her for leaving Forrester, to me is an overreaction. She's going somewhere that is going to give her what she wants. Then she's got to do what's best for her. So the way she was coming at Katie about, you stole my daughter, and like Bree was saying, you stole my name. Now you stole my daughter, and you manipulated her. You took advantage of her emotions because you knew she was upset about her line being put on hold at Forrester. Blah blah blah. And it's like, no, Brooke. That these are all things that Hope wanted to do herself. Like, I need you for once to hold your daughter responsible for her decisions. And it's like she doesn't want to see, she doesn't want to admit to herself that this is a decision that Hope made on her own. Nobody manipulated her. There had to be a reason behind it. It couldn't have just been Hope made this decision. Someone had to be pushing her into it. Which that's always been Brooke's way of thinking when it's come to Hope and her bad decisions. It's always somebody else's fault. So her lashing out at Katie was, of course, her way of blaming Katie for this whole situation. But I enjoyed the scene because, I mean, when was the last time we've seen Katie and Brooke yell at each other like this? What, when she slept with Bill?
Yeah, I agree. I honestly think that Hope went the wrong. I don't think she was wrong for making a choice to go elsewhere. What I do think
Mhm.
she's wrong with regards to how she dealt with this with her mom. On
Yeah.
the flip side, I don't think that Brooke would have been happy whether she would have told her or not. And I think one of you ladies said that. If Hope said, "Mom, I need to talk to you. I know that you've been working to try to get Steffi to push my line to the forefront, but I'm just not going to wait around anymore. You know, I'm going to look elsewhere, and I'm going to go over to my aunts. I'm going to go talk to your sister and see, if they would be interested in having me do this, that, and the third." And I can guarantee Brooke would not have been happy about it. So for her to sit up
Mhm.
there and act like, "Why didn't you tell me?" Okay, so if I would have told you, would the reaction been anything different? Nope, not at all. And you would have been trying to stop her, and she would have also still blamed Katie for, "Well, you've been talking to my daughter, like you said, Keish. You've been trying to manipulate her. She's thinking about coming over to you. What did you say to her? You're trying to take advantage of another person from Forrester." It would have been all of the same conversations, except this time she did not say anything. So it's kind of like, should she have or shouldn't she? Now I think that if she did, then it's up to Brooke to decide her actions. But I think she's being really selfish right now, because now it's out in the open. Your daughter did something amazing. Yes, your husband might not like it. Your husband's daughter might not like it. Heck, your coworkers might not like it. Anybody in that C-suite. But at the same time, she just decided to step out on faith, work with her brother and your sister, and did amazing things. And instead of saying, "I might not like what you did, I'm still proud of you for what you accomplished," she can't even give her that. So that's why I am on that whole thing. She need to let Hope own her decisions. You went over there, whatever happens, good or bad, it's on you. I might not like it, but it's your choice. That's a married woman. Like Hope said on that runway, "My husband is here, my brother is here. They want me here. They love, what I," and it was not enough. "I'm going to take you out of here. You need to come with me. They can't take advantage of you." I'm like, "Oh my gosh."
You know what I wish?
Hmm.
I wish Brooke was more selfish. Like, I want her to be the old school, self-absorbed Brooke Logan. And that would kind of give hope for me some more leeway for her to do what she did and kind of and let that be justified. Because as of right now, we see Brooke, that was like she was saying to Hope, I was campaigning for you. I was always looking out for you. I was doing everything. And we seen in a dialogue, anything that Hope wanted to do, no matter how foolish, Brooke was always behind. Even most recently, a few weeks ago, when Hope was gassing up her mother to take over Steffi's position because Hope wanted it. Exactly. So there has been many things that Hope has wanted, or Hope has made stupid decisions, and Brooke was always backing her up. I say this, I wish the dialogue had switched for Brooke to where she was selfish and she really got on Hope and said, like, how can you do this to me? I gave you the lifestyle that you live. Better yet, I gave you and my sisters the lifestyle. You would never have the type of men in your life. You would never have the opportunities in your life if it wasn't for me and my name, Brooke Logan. Put some weight and energy behind the selfishness. And I think that would have been a really great feud because Brooke would be able to kind of back that up because, to be very honest, would Hope have all of these accolades and the years over at Forrester if it wasn't for her mother? No. Same thing with Katie. Same thing with Donna. If it wasn't for Brooke spreading them legs with these men and working her way up through Forrester, none of her sisters or her children would have those opportunities. And I wish that could have came up in dialogue. She could have been like, hey, you guys call me the slut from the valley. Well, you wouldn't have had the opportunities if it wasn't for that. You wouldn't have had the opportunities if I didn't make them for you. And this is how you repay me. That was the argument I was hoping for with both Katie and Hope. But we got what we got. But I wish the writing would have been more selfish.
I know you kind of talked about that last week. I'm not a big fan of that whole thing of saying, because you made a choice to do that. Whether we got the, happen to be in the position to do that, I mean, yeah, but I don't want nobody hanging nothing over my head. You know what I mean? So, I mean, that's just me.
Yeah, no, I get that part.
Yeah,
but if we're looking for Brooke to be selfish, she really could have threw that in their faces. It would have been great dialogue for me. And it probably would have justified why Brooke is so pushing for the fact, like, oh, you stole my name. And I think it's the meaning behind the name and the thing that the power and the things that she's done to build up that Brooke Logan name for them to eat the crumbs off of. And I think that would have been a better argument. But we got what we got.
Yeah, I mean,
I just feel like...
Go ahead, Keish.
I feel like this whole storyline has been forced from the beginning. Like,
yeah,
starting with Eric and making a decision to go over there and design for Logan for a couple of weeks. Like, that felt forced because there was no need for it. And then the whole, like, the revisionist history when it comes to Hope's career and how she was treated at Forrester. None of the mistreatment that she's been whining about for the last couple months happened to her. She's literally always gotten everything that she wanted. The way that they're villainizing Steffi in this whole thing because she made a business decision, which she backed up with data, but they're still holding her up as this bully and, oh, she's just been, it's part of the revisionist history when it comes to Hope's career. Oh, she's always bullied Hope. I think Hope said last week something about how Steffi got a little ounce of power when she became CEO, and she's had her stiletto on my neck ever since. And it's like, there's not a single person that watches this show that could put together a compilation of Steffi using her power as CEO to try to sabotage Hope for the Future. Steffi has always been the one that has
Excuse me.
put the company before um, any of her beef with Hope. But just stuff like that. Hope lying, like Hope, it was unnecessary for Hope to lie about going to Logan. It was unnecessary for Hope to just put in a leave of absence when she signed a contract with Logan. Like, more things that just felt forced. Electra's expectations of Will telling her,
Oh, we gonna have a whole section of
like,
that.
all of that,
Girl.
all of that is forced. The Hope for the Future diamond, that even felt forced. It didn't even fit with the collection. Like, everything about this storyline has just felt very forced. And it was unnecessary for them to force a lot of these different little details to push this plot along. Like, there were other ways that they could have written this that didn't feel like they were just forcing things to happen for drama.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
That's why I was hoping for more build up. That's why I was saying make Brooke full on selfish. Like, put some weight behind at least some of these arguments. Like, if something was building up for like months or like years, even, especially between Brooke and Katie, because there's dialogue there, but it's like they tiptoed around it, and they're being very passive with Katie, and they're giving like some lukewarm stuff between both of the ladies, and it makes it feel forced. I agree with that. And when it comes to like Steffi, I am so sick of this narrative that she has been, that Hope has been being mistreated. But yet this is the same girl who, what, a few weeks ago was trying to amp up her mother to take Steffi's position just so she can stay there. This girl still had 1 foot out the door, not both feet, 1 foot out the door over at Logan, but she still had one planted over at Forcer Creations, as if she didn't have faith in Katie and what she had going on over there. She still wanted to still have that opportunity over at Forrester. But if you're miserable, why do you even care to still be there? And if it's been years of misery, why do you still care to be there? You could have left at any point in time.
Yeah, I guess the interesting part about all of that is that, like you said, they made the 1 foot in, 1 foot out. But then when it came time after the show aired, it was like, this is what I'm doing. Okay, so now you're made your decision, you stand on it after it happened. Why couldn't you just go ahead and put your resignation in before? Maybe she
Right.
wanted to see the reaction of her first show and then decide to be like, okay, cool. But I mean, even if it was a flop, there is no way you were going to be able to walk back and force the doors and say, okay, well, I gave it a shot over there. I'm coming back to do Hope for the Future. She was pretty much cooked the moment that show aired.
And if
Now,
she was treated, then the other thing is, if she was treated so horribly, like she's been saying for the last 2 months, why would you even want to go there?
I
Why
think
would you even want to go back?
right, exactly. The only thing I can think of that she had difficulty is about the fact of hurting all those people, because you got Zende over there, who was looking forward to restarting the line. Her mom, and I don't know if she thought about Electra. Who cares, right? But um, her biggest thing is, I'm going to hurt so many people, even though this is something I want to do. I mean, that's a possibility too.
But my thing is, she wouldn't even continue to have those opportunities if it wasn't for Steffi after the coup. Because the only reason she got her job back was because the situation with Liam. Otherwise, she would have still be sitting outside of Forrester's doors, given what she's done to the people. The same people that she keeps saying are bullying her, the same people who she keeps saying, they keep pushing back my line. They're not trying to push things forward. Sounding like a real spoiled brat, in my opinion, when She needed to have her job back. The person who saved her job was Steffi, the person who she says has her stiletto on her neck, which is interesting.
Well, I thought, okay, so didn't Carter go to Ridge to ask when he thought that he was still going to be in a relationship with Hope? Carter went and asked if you going to, after he got his job back, to give her job back, and Ridge was the one that did that.
I thought it was Steffi.
I remember him going to Ridge about that.
He went to Ridge to try to push for it. And I think, wasn't it Ridge who had to talk with Steffi about letting her back on? Because it took Liam to reach out to Steffi, and then you had Carter. That's the other part there. Carter was campaigning for this girl's line for
Yeah,
months.
I don't feel sorry for him because he was also a huge part of that whole mess. You signed
Oh,
up
yeah.
for that. You know, and you clearly know that she was sniffing around Liam, but you still wanted to be a super simp and
Yeah,
decided
yeah.
to go and fight for her job there, thinking that gifting her a job was going to have her come back to you. That's all that was about.
Yeah. Okay,
For
it was Ridge.
What'd you
for
say?
me, whether regardless if it was Ridge or Steffi, Steffi still agreed to it,
Yeah.
and she still welcomed her back with open arms. She still agreed to allow her to bring that line back after giving her position back at Forster, like a month or so later. So if Steffi was as much of a bully and as petty as Hope and Katie claimed that she is, she would have fought that tooth and nail, and she didn't do that. And that's not the first time that Steffi has shown Hope grace when it comes to her line or her job at Forster or anything else in their lives.
Yeah.
Steffi is always the one of the two of them. Steffi,
when she failed those 4 quarters,
yep,
and even Carter was like, yeah, it was time to pull that line. The person who saved her line was Steffi. And then what happened months later? The coup. So I feel it's a give or take. And she cannot keep putting the failure of her line or the failure of the fact that buyers don't want to care for her line on Steffi, or when they pull it for financial reasons and she has the stuff to back it up. It's like, how much are you going to constantly blame it on Steffi for when there's two other owners who make those same decisions and have to agree on that? It's like, grow up. But she gonna really find out. I don't know about you guys, but it's gonna be some mess over at Spencer, because if she thinks things are gonna just be smooth sailing, no. Especially when Dollar Bill is around. Nope. I don't think that's gonna happen.
Well,
I
go ahead.
I was just gonna say I hope it is though, because I need her to stay there. I don't want her to come back to Forrester. I want her to stay where she is so she can stay out of Steffi's face.
No, that's not gonna happen because both of them share kids with Liam, so they're
But
gonna have
she's
to
not gonna
cross
be in her face
paths.
at work.
Yeah, they're gonna have to cross paths on a personal level.
Personal is different. Professionally, she don't have to be in Steffi's face if she stays over there. And
Uh,
she can stop blaming Steffi for everything that goes wrong in her career, which is what she likes to do.
What made Carter take over Forrester Creation? Because he wanted to simp for Hope. They threw together a stupid love storyline between Hope and Carter, and making it seem like he's always thought about her and he fantasized about her while they were in Italy, and they clipped up clips from what that should have been Hope and Thomas, and they made it seem like they were Carter's thoughts, even though he was with Katie. So they threw together this love storyline, and he wanted to be Team Logan and stand up for him and yada, 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 even though it was like literally 2 months before where he was like, yeah, the numbers are not adding up. She failed 4 quarters. It's time for her line to go. Same man.
Mm-hmm.
And
And then that
then,
whole thing happened when Steffi decided to save her line, but it was an ultimatum attached. That was back in 2024, I think it was, where,
Hmm.
I'll save your line if you stay away from Finn.
Yep. And you know what? She could have done worse because she could have fired her for what she was trying to do. So
mm-hmm.
people people look at that as a, well, she was manipulating her, and it's like, no, she found out that Hope was being inappropriate with her husband, and instead of firing her like she would have had every right to do, she gave her that ultimatum, which shouldn't have been a hard ultimatum to keep anyway. Like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, I'll stay away from your husband. Like, that shouldn't have been difficult for Hope. But of course, her and Brooke took that as a, oh, I can't believe she would do that. I can't. Brooke literally said out of her mouth, Steffi has no right to tell you that you can't be friends with Finn. Like,
Oh.
that's the level of entitlement that both her and Hope have. And
Mm-hmm.
even with your line, your clothing line on the bubble, they wanted to argue against that. A friendship with her husband that who you were inappropriate with. Like, that was that was what they were fighting against. That shouldn't have even been an issue for Hope.
Yet Pauline Daly said Brooke let Hope get away with too much. Exactly. And that's why Brooke feels blindsided.
Yep.
Because if anyone who's Kate for her, it was definitely her mother.
Always
And
her mother.
and you would have thought, I think we said this in the chat, you would have thought Hope was treated like Bridget. Bridget was treated probably the worst out of all of Brooke's children.
Mm-hmm.
Hope was treated like she had a golden spoon in her mouth. Always.
Yep.
Yeah, well, then we have because we talked about Katie and Brooke's confrontation. Then we have now Hope and her mom's confrontation.
I was really hoping Brooke would have lashed out. Um, Once again, this was lukewarm. And at least, Hope took ground a little bit. The part that made me laugh was like, so I'm going to move over to Katie's house. You can't, even if it was off screen, you can't even say like, oh, me and Liam are going to get our own apartment or our own house. You're just going to just hop from one house to the other, not paying any. Okay. So you can't get a house for your daughter and for Douglas. You're just gonna go over to Bailey anyway. But this is why I feel this is not going to last long. We saw that girl have a whole panic attack on the floor. I think Brooke and Hope are going to make up by the end of the year. They always make up like towards the end of the holidays. Same with Katie. So I think this might, are we in July? Jesus, we're in July already. But I think towards like Thanksgiving and Christmas and all that other stuff, they'll make up. And I feel that something's gonna happen at Spencer, and she's gonna try to run right back to Forrester. That's what I'm thinking. And if Annika is pregnant, I think that she is. It's a lot of speculation. You see some, stuff going on in the midsection there. This might also lead towards the actress's exit for maternity leave. So something's eventually going to happen to where Hope is going to make her exit.
Well, some people are saying that with this whole, she think it's an anxiety attack, but maybe this is them possibly, if she is pregnant, writing this pregnancy into the storyline.
I don't. I think J Money was saying something like that too. I don't think so. Especially the way that she landed on that runway. She's on her stomach. Plus, I hope would. As a woman, you would know if you were pregnant. If you you know
Mm,
miss it. I don't know, but if they write into a storyline, that sounds good. But that also gives another reason for Brooke and Hope to start making up too sooner rather than later, and her being over closer to her mother, and then probably living back over with her mother, and then going back over to Forrester. So it actually would be beneficial for her not to be pregnant to kind of drag out the storyline just a little bit, see what she can do on her own, and then eventually she'll make her way over to Forrester.
gotcha.
But I think Annika, at least the way it's looking right now, she looks like she's in her second trimester, in my opinion. And I think towards like the end of the year, like the holiday season or something, we might see her leave. But she looks like she's about 4 or 5 months at least. Because you can start to see the belly, but she hasn't made a formal announcement, speculation, but everywhere I go, I see pictures online where people like zooming in and like circling at her belly and then like comparing like photos of like the weight gain and everything. I'm like, okay, some real
Mm-hmm.
investigators here.
Yeah, tell me about it. All right, we got to move it along. I kind of want to talk about Forrester as a whole, and we kind of talked about this offline before we started the show in regards to the fact that why is Forrester, who's a company who's been in business for 5 decades, so pressed about a startup? They
Stupid
over there
writing.
freaking out. They should have been like, "Oh, we got this. I mean, we know what to do. Let's just pivot like any other long-standing business." But they're like, "Oh my God, I don't know what to do." Especially after today's episode, Steffi's freaking out. They stopped the couture line from being launched, and I'm like, "Why would you do that?" What Hope has is not couture. You,
Right.
you know, she has something totally different. And Logan, yes, they made a big splash, blah, blah, blah. Okay, well, you come behind them and do what you normally do with your couture. Y'all
Mm-hmm.
got a whole line ready to go. That shouldn't have stopped anything. The earrings, Electra's jewelry line, this should have been even more of ammunition for them to compete instead of freak out like y'all going out of business.
All right.
Yeah, and it's not their first rodeo because they've been in the business for 50 years. So they've had designs stolen for them. They've had other like fashion houses like steal like the spotlight from them, and they still, everything goes on from that point. And the way they were talking about Logan and saying like, "Oh, Katie's not this. She doesn't have the experience," and yada yada yada. Okay, then you should be cool. Then this should be nothing. No matter what they do, even if Hope was over there, you have the founder who's making a comeback, and this is supposed to be your most expensive collection. And on top of that, you guys have your own like set of like buyers, your own specific niche that you're trying to appeal to buyers to. So why are you pulling your line? Because I feel like that's also a waste of money. I wouldn't even be worried about what Logan had going on. If anything,
Exactly.
they gave me 24 hours to try to put the attention back onto the company. I don't know if I need to get some celebrities, the prince, the princess, whoever to make an appearance, but I would have made it a grand, thing, and put the attention back over to Forrester.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be like, Brooke, do one of your scandals, pull from your hat, something. I wouldn't be worried about it. Especially the jewelry. Now the jewelry line. Now jewelry is sold every day
Girl,
at
everywhere
any
you can
point of the
go,
year.
everything from designer to going to Claire's.
Yes. So They didn't need to pull that. They didn't need to pull the perfume line. That just didn't make any business sense for me and for T. I just don't see the logic in it. But I'm wondering what direction you're going to go in with this now. But like, you hired all those models, like the press junkets, and plus the people that you were going to have at your show were still going to be in town. Like, if anything, leave the lasting impression.
Right.
I wouldn't even be worried about Hope. And yes, I understand, like, they got the phone calls and everything about Hope, and sure, fine. But it's just business. Just keep it moving. You got a whole PR team. Put money behind them so they can spin this around, and then keep it moving.
I agree. You got what you got, Keish?
No, I agree. I feel like Steffi's attitude toward it should have been, it's not a loss for us. Let's move on. Instead of having her freak out, especially considering, um, like, during the storyline, she said at one point, it feels like more trouble to keep Hope for the future around than it's worth, or whatever it was that she said. Like, that's the kind of energy Steffi should have had. I can understand Brooke being upset, but Steffi being upset and freaking out the way she is with, the way that she's supposed to, be this great businesswoman, is like, she shouldn't have even broke a sweat behind this. But instead, they've got her, Ridge, and Eric all freaking out. As if Forrester is going to fall apart because Hope went over to Logan.
Right. This is the same line that y'all was saying, I don't know, and it's not been doing well. And okay, then if she don't want to be here and the line has always been sucking since Thomas left, then she did y'all a favor.
Exactly.
Yep, she did y'all a favor. So I didn't understand why everything they had to they shut down everything, even push Electra's line back. I'm like, for what? Y'all still got to say, y'all got boutiques, y'all got international, y'all got all this stuff. Now she can't make jewelry. The jewelry was only for the fashion show. It's not for the stuff that you supply your boutiques with.
Right.
And that was a Ridge's call. Oh, well, we're going to have to put the on hold. For what? Y'all could have, just because of the Hope for the Future diamond. So what? You never had any plans of getting it in the first place.
Right. It hadn't even come up.
Right. Only time it came up in dialogue is when Elektra was talking about it a week ago.
Right.
Y'all didn't know, y'all wasn't even thinking about that Hope for the Future diamond for your couture show. Do what you were going to do and keep it moving.
And that's part of why I said even the Hope for the Future diamond felt forced.
Yeah, we was talking about that last week about that it didn't match the outfit and all that stuff, So, all right, we got to move on to Elektra.
Do we have to talk about her?
Well, they've been waiting to roast her in the chat.
Good gracious.
This little girl right here. I can understand being shocked, but I'm like, girl, you're still running a whole jewelry line. You are okay. And you can't put your big girl panties on and see that your boyfriend works for your competitor. So why on earth would he tell you? And if the shoe was on the other foot, you wouldn't say a word.
Exactly.
I wish that Will had said that to her.
Exactly.
I wish that Will would have said, if I asked you about what was going on at Forrester, would you tell me? Like, I needed him to ask her that question.
Like she told him about those kisses.
And see, that's why I had listen. That's why I had to catch my hubby up at. I said, she been kissing that dude over there, and so he and she. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, he all her nothing.
Because they even had Steffi and Ridge when after RJ left. They even had Steffi and Rich say, I can't believe that Will wouldn't give her a heads up. And it's like,
Why would you even
why
think
would you
that?
think, exactly, why would you think that he would need to do that? Why is he obligated to tell Electra what's going on at his company? Who he's only been there for 2 weeks, by the way.
Listen, they're just mad that they got blindsided. They had no heads up. Hope didn't tell nobody. But now they want to shift the blame over to Will. And it's like, no, that was Hope's. Hope blew that y'all world up. Hope did that.
And that's the other thing. RJ is more upset that Electra didn't know about the Hope for the Future diamond and that Will, quote unquote, lied to her, which he didn't. He just didn't share his father's business details. He was more upset about that than he was upset about his sister lying to him.
Exactly.
And his brother.
What you
Like
say?
him and his mother.
Yeah, and his mother.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I don't even think you care. I think you're just looking for a reason
To be mad at Will.
To further try to prove to Electra that Will is a bad guy, which he didn't even do anything wrong.
Where's Miss Dillon at?
Yeah, that's the thing. You
her in a
putting
while.
all this energy into protecting this girl. Are you still trying to pursue?
I hope that they don't try to turn this into a RJ, Dylan, Electra triangle.
A quadrangle.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're already going that direction. Brad Bell said that's the direction they're going to go in, unfortunately. But the part that got me with Electra, she told this boy, you need to put me above your father and your mother in business. What? I'm your girlfriend. And so she really wanted wife privileges. And even as a wife, he didn't owe her an explanation, because even when the stuff came out about Eric, when Hope was pressing him about who the designer was, he kept his mouth shut. He was married to the girl. So what is Electra to him? And on top of that, they got back together 3 minutes ago.
Yeah. Yep, because she decided to blow up with this whole misunderstanding because of a stupid letter that she wrote that she thought he never read. You know, she is just so immature.
Very.
Incredibly immature.
Entitled, immature, and self-centered, that the world revolves around her.
Yes.
And did you see the scene today where she's standing in the middle of these two cousins ready to tear each other apart, and she's just looking at them like, oh my God. Girl, she was feeding off of that energy.
RJ even having the nerve to pop up at Will's house like that to come and rescue Electra.
Yeah, he had no business coming over there. And Ridge was like, oh, there's no stopping it. And there's a preview out for tomorrow episode where Ridge is pretty much giving Electra an ultimatum to stay away from Will because of how he beat up his son so bad. Well, your son shouldn't have went over there to his house.
Right.
What are you doing there? You all up in his face talking about his father.
It's private property. And once again, RJ putting himself in a position to where he gets slapped or he gets punched or anything. And he didn't never say, I'm not scared of you. And then we were talking about this earlier. Will, that bass of that boy's voice.
Wait, girl. When he tried to tell RJ to leave, get out of my house, why is Electra pushing Will back? And Will is like, this man is in my house.
Right.
And then she turns around and help him out the door. Girl, don't come back here. And this man is losing his mind, screaming.
Electra, no. I'm like, if this is not a sign for this boy to stay away from her, I don't know what else will.
Unfortunately, it won't be.
I can guarantee you, if this was Dylan, she would have understood all of that.
I don't even think Dylan would have bothered to even fix her mouth to ask him questions about what's going on at your father's company.
Yep.
Because Dylan has some common sense, unlike Electra.
Mm-hmm.
If this is the most self-absorbed girl I've ever seen on screen, I would even say more than Hope. Well, no, not more than Hope, but just about there. Just about there.
Yeah.
She really feels she's more important than this boy's job that he just got 2 weeks ago. More important than his mother, more important than his father, and honoring his family.
That's what he told her. He said, "This is my mother's company."
So, you're supposed to keep it secrets from me.
Cause my thing. Okay, so let's play this out. Let's just say Will decided in pillow talk to tell Electra that Hope was going to be the new designer. We got the Hope for the Future diamond, and it's about the launch a day before you guys. What do you think Electra would have done? Do you think she would have actually said, "Okay, I'm not going to say anything"?
Exactly. She would have took her butt right on over to Forrester and let them know what was going down.
Actually, I was going to say she's going to probably have him get the Hope for the Future diamond for her, and he probably would have done it. I think.
You know what? It could have went both ways. I agree. It could have went both of those ways. She could have been like, you know what? If you really love me and you want me to really value this relationship, I need that Hope for the Future diamond. If you can, she would have played that. That's what that girl is, extremely manipulative.
Toxic. She's incredibly toxic. And there's no pleasing this girl because Dylan is still jumping through hoops, and apparently Will is too, just to be in her good graces.
But it takes people like them two that's doing that to fuel that behavior. That's why she's doing what she's doing. She thinks she's in the catbird seat. She got two men fighting over her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's then blew up her little head because when she came there, she wanted to be out the spotlight. I'm just here assisting. I don't want to be in photos and pictures, and I'm just a girl here to help my aunt from Texas. Now all of a sudden, this is your world.
Mm-hmm. And everyone has to bow down and tell her any and everything. Meanwhile, she's a type who will keep some secrets herself and some kisses to herself.
Yeah, exactly. Robin MC, and that's a new one too. Robin, welcome in. She said Electra's whining. Oh my gosh, that girl is always whining.
She, in almost every scene she's always
about
crying.
to cry.
Yes, it's always a pouting, and I mean, nothing is going to ever please this girl. Nothing. And my thing is, what did you expect for Will to do?
Girl, that girl actually felt that she was entitled to all of that as a girlfriend. That, she been keeping secrets and kissing RJ and all this other stuff and didn't tell him about it. Thinking about going skinny dipping and all that stuff with RJ and stuff. Yeah. Even though Will took her back, which that was foolish on his part.
And moved her in.
But she felt entitled to proprietary trade secrets.
Yeah.
That normally you can't share that. And like he said, we work for opposing fashion houses. What did you expect? Are you going to tell me Forrester business? Of course not.
And it would never have been reciprocated the other way around. She's no. So I'm like, Will, if you do not sprint, don't run, don't walk, sprint, get away from this girl. I would have moved his. And that's the part I don't understand. She is very lucky. This is a billionaire son who she pretty much has wrapped around her finger. He could have a girl every day of the week. He's a billionaire son. He didn't have to be fully committed to that girl, especially after they broke up the first time. He's choosing to. And on top of that, he's given her no reason to treat him this way.
Mm-hmm.
He's always put his cape on for her. He stuck around at Forrester for no reason to pretty much be around her.
Yep, it took him to get fired because of the animosity between him and his cousin to get him kicked out of Forrester. And then she was like, "Oh, all this is because of me." Girl,
Yeah. Mimi.
it's always about her.
Princess Mimi.
Yeah, she's annoying. I can't
She's a
honestly
child.
believe she's a child. She's an immature child who figured that she should get her way no matter what. She felt entitled to that as a 2 minute girlfriend.
Okay. If that. And Jules says, please bring someone new for Will. I would like him with Miss Dillon.
Yeah, I
The
mean
better
Dylan
chemistry
would
with
have
her.
been. And then she decided to play tiddlywinks with RJ over the past month, and I'm like, what are we doing? And
I just
now we
Yeah.
got RJ sniffing back around Electra and fighting for her honor. Got his face bloodied over that girl.
They just need to come up with a better reason to put a rift between Will and Electra, and this just it wasn't it. This was a very stupid reason for her to be pissed off at Will. Like it just, I don't understand. Even the last time they were mad at each other, or she was mad at him, it was a stupid reason. I don't get why they can't come up with like good, genuine relationship drama for them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it just, I don't know.
And the moment that he moves on, whether it's with one of them girls in the office or whether it was Miss Dillon, then she'll be coming around talking about, did you ever love me? You moved on so fast. See, I thought it was we. Girl, you walked out the door and threw away your necklace.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now it's just you.
Yeah, it's just you.
It's just you and RJ.
Yeah.
Everything about their storylines are just, ugh.
Yeah, stupid.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, even the manipulation that she has over Dylan. I mean, Dylan is choosing to follow the rules, but she even want to control her personal life. You cannot date anybody in the office. It's like, who are you? Now
And
that,
even
but
with
then, oh, sorry.
Oh no, you're fine.
But then they turn around and put Dylan in an assistant position to her, which now makes this girl her boss.
I guess not no more now since the jewelry line has been put on hold.
Yeah, that's true.
And see, that would have made more sense had they done that from jump, and then Electra was giving her all those ultimatums about how she what did she tell her, she couldn't date anyone at work or whatever it was that she told her.
Mm-hmm.
That would have made much more sense if it had happened that way. But when Dylan first started working there and Electra like literally had no say so in her job and what she was doing, they weren't working together, to have her give her all those conditions and stuff like that. And it's like, why? Like how? How is Dylan giving her all these, or Electra giving Dylan all of these rules and different conditions for her working at Forrester, and she has no authority there.
Right. But
Like this would have made more sense here.
But you
to
know
do
what,
it.
Keisha? Just like I say, she's moving this way because people allow her to. These guys are focal pointing on her, which is why she feel She can do what she do. There's no way a man is fighting to protect his home and you walk out with the dude that came in and attacked him. That's
Mm-hmm.
insane. Even when my hubby was watching it, he was like, "Yeah, we would be done if that was to happen." You go walk, somebody walk into our house, and you turn around and walk out with the guy who I was defending myself against. No,
All right.
we're done. And I mean, but it makes sense. Why would you sit up here and talk about entitlement for information? Yeah, you can let RJ come in here and disrespect your boyfriend in his house. And then yes, they got into an altercation, but you walk out with him.
Mm-hmm.
That's insane. Will should be done.
Jenna said, "Can anyone fire Brad Bell?"
Somebody need to fire Brad Bell. That's insane. I mean, and then, but again, we was talking about Dylan. Like I said, the men, those two guys are allowing her to move that way. Dylan is too. So of course she's gonna put all these ultimatums and rules on her because Dylan is allowing it.
Yeah.
Cause she want to be her friend so bad.
I'm just
Yeah.
saying, from a writer standpoint, it
Yeah.
didn't make sense for them to do that
Right.
at
I
that
agree.
point, unless they brought her in working as her assistant. Then it would have made sense. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, just doing it the way they did it,
It
just
sucks.
because, yeah, just because she said so, is just done. Like, what are the consequences going to be?
Right.
Well, she's not going to be your friend. I mean, she's not a very good friend anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Horrible friend.
She's a horrible friend if you giving her autonomy to dictate your life about who you can see and who you cannot see.
mm-hmm,
So much so, even though, like I said, a girl got chemistry with everybody, including RJ. Even though
mm-hmm,
when RJ was making moves, she was scared to even date him because she was worried about what Electra would think.
yep.
That's crazy.
Couldn't be
She
me.
did have good chemistry with RJ, huh?
She did.
Mm-hmm.
Who you think her chemistry better with, him or Will?
Oh, that's a tough one.
It's
She
a
was really good with RJ too.
Yes, she
it's a
did.
balance.
It's a tie.
Like I could take it either which way, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That girl got chemistry. Even when she was having conversations with Deke, it was like, dang, if he, had a different preference, they could probably, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
RJ seemed less obnoxious in scenes with her.
Yeah, he's a little bit
Yeah.
more chill with her.
He was likable,
Right.
Yeah.
but it's like anything that's like centered around Electra, we get to see
The
the
dark
horrible
side.
of
Yeah,
her.
because she's toxic. She triggers a part of these people with her entitlement, and it just causes chaos and mayhem. With whether it's Dylan, whether it's RJ, whether it's Will, whereas Dylan kind of brings a peaceful, warm aspect to these guys.
Yeah.
Because
She's down to earth.
Will felt so comfortable. Remember that scene a couple months back when they were sitting on the floor and he started telling some of his childhood traumas to Dylan. That's how comfortable she makes them feel.
She's down to earth,
Mm-hmm.
and she's not pretentious and easygoing. And I actually really liked the Dylan character. I just didn't like the fact that she was turning into a pick me when it came to Electra.
Yeah, I don't like that at all. And that's the thing. Will, as much as he loved this girl, he need to be able to get a backbone. That don't take that part from Nicholas over on Young and the Restless.
I would even just settle for this boy getting some common sense.
I mean, he's young, okay, fine, but the thing is that, you know, like you said, who was that? Was that you or Keish that said, you know, if would you would have told me what Forrester was doing? Put the
Yeah.
ball back in her court to get her to think. It's not always about what you feel. Would you would have done that too? And I know she wouldn't have.
Yeah.
Mhm. She would probably wouldn't give a response to it.
No, she been looking doe-eyed.
Mm-hmm. Same way she did when those kisses were brought up.
Exactly. She won't bring up that she was kissing RJ.
Mm-hmm.
So she need to go somewhere. She gonna take a lot of seats, a lot of positions today. When we get to our final segments. But yeah,
Yep.
that whole thing was a hot mess. That girl irritated the mess out of me this week. I'm like, okay. And then today's episode, mm-mm. But I gotta give a shout out, and he probably gonna get star of the week for me. None other than Crew Marl, because that scene where something went dark in him, it
Mm-hmm.
seemed like he was in a whole nother TV show.
Yeah. He did all. He channeled all of his
I mean, he
daddy right
channeled
there.
something, and I mean, then his hair started getting wild, and he had this dark look in his eye, like, you want some more? Oh, I'm gonna knock you out some more. No, but the whole thing with him screaming for Electra, I'm like, dude, now you like a simp.
Electra. Electra. Like, this boy was crying. I'm like,
Girl, he was
she's
screaming.
not worth that. Screaming, crying. I'm like, she's not even worth all that. She
Mm-hmm.
really isn't.
Mm-mm.
And I really wish they had let Dylan be like an Amber Moore character to kind of take advantage of it, or at least be a girl who's not worried about anything that Electra has going on, and
Right.
really just make them move.
Yeah.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
I would have loved that, and she would have owned it.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. We shall see.
I need them to snap Dylan out of that.
Yeah.
Yes.
And she needs to snap back and tell her about herself. Channel the inner Kat Richardson. That's what she needs to do.
Yeah, I can live with that.
You
A
know.
little Kat Richardson, and I don't know, like, something's got to give. Not to say that she has to be full on Amber Moore, but this, like, make your move. Like, you have access to both of these guys. You've locked lips with both of them. This is more than what these girls at the office have been able to do.
Girl.
And you see that
Go ahead.
Electra really doesn't know what she has to just make a move on both.
I can guarantee you, if she finds out that she's been dating RJ, then she gonna play the victim and say, you keeping secrets from me too. You betrayed me.
That's what I want to see.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see what her reaction is to that, because there's nothing that she can. That's none of her business. There's nothing that she can say about that. RJ is not her boyfriend. They're not dating.
Right.
So I would love to see how they would have her react to finding out that the two of them have been hanging out.
Mm-hmm. But that's the thing. Remember, she was telling Will, she's not telling me who she's with, and da da da. When it comes out, she gonna feel like that Dylan kept secrets too, and she gonna be whining and crying again.
This little girl right here.
I know. Yeah. And so you ain't entitled to that information. Just like you wouldn't tell him, and you didn't tell our Will about them doggone kisses. So I'm just saying. All right, y'all done roasting old girl? Because I think that other than that, we have Remy stop by in his disguise to try to get back with Deke.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then Deke decided to say, "Hey, I can't have you in my life," or something to that effect, or we're never going to get back together.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Here's another dead end storyline, because they made it a big deal about this boy coming back, and it's like, so in the dialogue, you don't want him to be with Deke, or Deke doesn't want to be with him, and he can't get any form of redemption. So what was the purpose of bringing the character back?
Exactly.
Like, he has a year contract. So what is the direction they're going to go on with this boy's storyline?
Yeah, because their dialogue is pretty much the same every time they put them in scenes together.
Exactly. And then Deke is always refusing him, like, no, I can't be seen with you. I got a new line, and I'm out in the open, and after everything you've done, it's like, okay, so what we gonna do about Deke's character? If you're gonna have him around for a year, what are you gonna do? Lurk for a year?
You mean
That's
Remy?
what I'm wondering. Are they about to turn him into a stalker? Like, what's going to happen?
I think he's going to be part of Deke and Hope's downfall over at Logan. Because the fact that this boy had access to Spencer is something else. I wonder if he's going to.
I hope, man, that's crazy. Uh-oh. Bree,
Like,
what happened? You kind of faded out, Bree.
Oh, my bad. I was saying, like, I think Remy's going to be the downfall for Deke.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he's going to get butt hurt. Well, he's probably butt hurt that Deke doesn't want anything to do with him. But he's going to sabotage Deke in his success.
Yeah,
Something's going to happen over at Logan that is going to cause like a downward spiral. And I think they're going to probably use Remy for that, which is unfortunate because I was hoping for a redemption with this character.
Yeah, I hope they don't use him to sabotage Katie. That's crazy.
Because something's got to give, at least to give some sort of spice and some edge to the show. I think the reason we got Deke pretty, like, formally, I guess, breaking up with Remy is to kind of give Remy a reason to want to get revenge. Because we know that the boy can be very spiteful. We saw what happened with Elektra. And since they want to keep bringing up what this boy did, and they don't want him to get any form of redemption, they might as well leave him as like this bad boy character and let him be petty and spiteful. And I think he's going to be part of Deke's downfall.
Gotcha. There's one other piece that we got to talk about. I forgot about that because when everything came out earlier in the week, Donna knew about it. And, they pushed her out. And then there was that scene between her and Eric.
Forgot about that.
Eric got a lot of nerve. Eric got a lot of nerve. He's like, you kept this for me. Like, I'm your husband, which he's correct. Her loyalty should be to her husband. Absolutely. And that is his company. That she could have said something at the very least to this man before things would blow up pretty much in his face, and he's the founder of that company.
I just wish they could have added in dialogue her saying, how dare you get mad about me keeping that when you had me do the exact same thing when it came to you coming over there and keeping it from Ridge and Brooke, because he did the exact same thing.
I feel it's a little different because he is the founder.
I'm talking about keeping that secret.
He did put his wife in that same position.
Yep.
I feel it's a little different, not all that different, but a little bit, because that was still his company he can always go back to. He was always still going to make money. He was always going, like, everyone in his family was still going to be employed over there. But Hope was always an employee. And this is also, once again, a year after the coup, and they didn't have to let her come back. So it felt like a big slap in the face because they went off of faith that she, I guess, learned her lesson. They let her come back to the company.
Right, that's the extension of it, but I'm talking about with that scene where he pretty much pushed her away for not saying anything, period, to him. And it's like, okay, and I understand the other parts of it where he could always go back and all of that, but in that particular moment, he was pissed at that girl for not saying anything about what happened. But at the same time, you asked her to do the same thing.
You know what else it is? It's because Brooke is pissed. And he'll always have a loyalty to Brooke. more so than his wife. So
Then
when
go
Brooke was
marry
hurt,
Brooke. Then why? I mean, that's crazy.
he would if he could. That's the thing. Eric has always had one foot out, no matter who he was ever involved with or married to. He always had wanted Brooke. And I think that's why he lives vicariously through his son whenever he was with Brooke,
Mm-mm.
because she knew it wasn't going to be reciprocated, which is so weird and whatnot. But because Brooke was hurt, because even in the office, Brooke said, "Get out." And then Eric wasted no time to basically telling Donna to get the hell on. And then brought her back to the house without saying nothing. But I think that's also another thing that had to do with it, because Donna hurt Brooke's feelings. If it was the other way around, and if it was the other way around, I don't think he would have done anything different. But because Brooke was hurt,
Well, Brooke was hurt when Eric snuck out, and they didn't treat Donna the same way. They pissed at Katie and her allegiance with them as they thought. Because, I mean, she knew about that, and she told them that she knew, and they didn't give her half the grief that they doing right now.
yeah, I just, he had a lot of
Yeah, that man is, yeah.
like, you put all the weight on your wife back in February to keep your secrets and to keep this, and I get where he's coming from. It's like, you chose Logan, which essentially, in a way, she did, over Forrester, because she could have gave the family that she's married into a heads up, but keeping it a secret is like protecting and helping out Logan. It
So
has
let
nothing
me
to do
ask
with his
y'all
sister.
this. If, just say either Will told Electra or Donna told, the Foresters what was going on, what do you think should have or would have been the Foresters' move? The sabotage? What could they do with that information?
That's why I
Stop.
don't understand why it was ever a secret. Because what did it really affect?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
what are you gonna? Okay, so y'all mad at people not telling y'all nothing. All right, just say they gave you the information. What do you do next? Do you go and kidnap Hope so she won't get on Katie's stage? I mean, what are we? Are y'all just mad that you didn't know?
I can, if they kept it at, like, Brooke, for instance, if her anger was more directed towards Hope lying to her,
Mm.
or even with, like, Steffi, if her frustration was directed towards, you took a leave of absence instead of just resigning when you knew you signed a contract with Logan.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why didn't you just resign? Like, if that was where they were coming from, that would be understandable. But it seems like their anger is more about her just going over to Logan, and
Mm-hmm.
they didn't know about it, or just in general.
Because
And
then, mm-hmm. Go ahead.
I don't know. It's just,
It's just weird. Because I
none of
mean,
this makes sense.
right? I
The way the
mean,
story in
mm-hmm.
general is constructed makes zero sense. Uh, they should have just had Hope be upfront with everybody, and I would have had more respect for her doing it that way. If she just would have been upfront and said, "I don't like it here anymore. I'm going over here. Peace out."
Yeah.
And they still could have had drama. Like, there's still plenty of drama to be written, and it would have made more sense if they had written it that way, instead of trying to keep this secret, and, oh, they can't know yet that Hope is over here. They can't know until she hits the runway. Like, why? Because I think what Liam said today was, well, you did the right thing, because if you would have told your mom, she just would have talked you out of it. If she would have been able to talk Hope out of it, then Hope didn't need to be at Logan in the first place. Like, if she is that weak minded, that she would have stayed there because her mom could have talked her out of going somewhere where she would have been happier, that's on Hope.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the has been one of the main problems with her character over the years is between her and her mama. She barely has a brain of her own,
Mm-hmm.
and she can
Yeah.
never. It's never her decision. It's, oh, I only did this because Steffi bullied me, or I only did this because my mom asked me to. And it's like, no, say that you're doing it because it was what you wanted to do, not because someone else forced you to do it or influenced you or manipulate. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
that's what I can't stand about that character.
Yeah. I just
It,
go ahead, Bree.
I was going to say, like, I would be more upset with the fact that Hope was taking discussions that happened at Forrester and taking that over to Logan. And it's like almost as if like you're divulging stuff that's going on with the competitor.
Yeah.
That would have been like grounds to go after them legally, or at least particularly Hope, is why she needed to formally quit her job, because this leaves everything open ended now to where they can kind of nitpick and say like, oh, well, you were still employed over here and going to and from both companies. Who to say that you didn't divulge that information to have your showing a day before ours, and then have all this extra information about the fact that the perfumer that we rejected went over to you guys, and you guys took advantage, like different things that I would have probably put him in a chokehold legally, in my opinion.
And those things would have been really good for them to play on. Of Hope possibly like taking secrets over there, or
yeah,
something like that. Like, even that would have made the story a little bit better. But it was literally just all about her lying about going to work for Logan, and
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah, I just that's why I kind of wanted to see what y'all would have thought if Electra had have found out. She probably would have went and told. If Donna had have told the Foresters, hey, Katie Hope is going over there doing this, that, and the third. I mean, that's like you say, Bree. They could have said, oh yeah, she got to go because she could take proprietary information from here and share with the opposing fashion
she
house.
did.
I mean, that's what they could have, utilized, but because they did not go that route, they wanted the shock value. That's what this
Yeah,
is. They wanted the shock
because
value for ratings, and they, like you say, the hope for the future Diamond Quiche. You said didn't even match the whole get up,
Yeah,
and
everything just fell flat to me.
it was all over the place. I mean, I will say there was some exciting to watch. I'm not going to say it was dull and boring, kind of like what we're getting on Y&R, but it's definitely some pieces that's kind of scattered, and it's like, well, why didn't it go this route? Or maybe you could have did this differently. You know what I mean? So
mm-hmm.
yeah. All right, I think we covered everything, right? Everybody done roasting Electra?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, let's get to our final segments because obviously there was no Beyond the Gates last week. So we only had to recap both Y&R and B&B for the 29th through the July 3rd week. Um, it just seemed like every time that there's a holiday in the week, they preempt Beyond the Gates. And I know that a lot of people like, why? But I know Michelle Valjean came out and said, it ain't got nothing to do with me. If I was, I want my show on every day. But obviously, it's a network thing. So,
And I think it's also the amount of like episodes that were ordered, because for the first season, I think they had like 200 episodes.
mm-hmm.
And I think now they bumped it up to what, 230, if I'm not mistaken, for this
Okay.
season.
Okay.
So they had to kind of stretch those episodes out and up until the season 3.
Okay. Gotcha. All right, so let's get to our final segments. Flip the script. Who's taking several seats? Star of the week, pickle of the week, the Simp Olympics, and the Audacity Award. And for Y&R, what you flipping?
Um, I didn't want Kane to try to offer Billy a position.
Okay.
That was that's the wrong move to make, in my opinion.
Okay. I got you. My flip would have been how this whole storyline with Jack and Patty went down. I just think is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, after coming off of the whole boat thing and the essay thing, only for now we're in this level of it and it's still not over. I'm just like, okay, whatever. There was one episode I think we only got them, and it's like, okay, y'all ain't got nobody, no other storylines to talk about, you know. So yeah, I definitely would have did something totally different when it came to the situation. You know, now Jack is stabbed. Diane is possibly going to be set up. Like Jenna said, this is all a rewrite. You know, so it's a mess. All right, what you flipping on Bold?
I would have loved for everyone that was in the C-suite at Forrester to actually show up
Over at
after
the
the show.
Logan show?
Yeah, I would have loved it. Instead of just Brooke by herself, it should have been all of Forrester that was in that C-suite to really hash it out, and then have Katie, Bill, Hope, and Liam let that be like a back and forth thing. I think that would have made it more interesting.
Okay. What you got, Keish?
Um, I would have had that be an opportunity for Katie to give Brooke that slap back.
Yeah.
With the confrontation they had.
Yeah. I need my flip is for Will to get a little bit. I mean, he can get all hard, and I don't want him to get to that level like he did with RJ with Electra, but he needs to set some firm boundaries with that girl.
Yeah.
You know, I understand this is what we got going on, but there are some things that you're not entitled to.
Mm-hmm.
It is what it is. If you don't like it, there's the door. And usually when people realize like her that she don't have that, then she'll be like the opposite effect when it comes to Will. Then she'd be like, oh my God, he's actually being serious and putting boundaries. Maybe I should, you know. But because she's able to run amok with her entitlement, she can pretty much move how she want, like she did. We're walking RJ out the door, even though this man ran into his house.
Right.
So, all right, who's taking seats on YNR?
Bill is definitely going to take a seat for me. Just being disrespectful to his mother and just being nasty and rude for absolutely no reason. Lily can take a seat for even thinking about hiring this man back onto that company. That was just so stupid on her part.
Well, you know why I'm at. Patty got definitely Patty and that crazy doctor who actually thought that um, Diane was gonna give him some box after dinner. Yeah, he can take a seat too. Because do you see how he was getting close? He was like, well, you know, are we going to skip to dessert? And I'm looking like, dude, you're just supposed to be your patient, and you only known her 2 seconds, and you ready for the box?
He ain't had it in a while.
Patty is around. I guess Patty, he wasn't interested in Patty.
I wouldn't put it past them. The way that they talk with each other, and the way he kind of puts her in check, I'm like, maybe they might have had a little something. Because how do they know each other?
Mm-hmm. But he was super thirsty over Diane.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
That's a pretty lady, though.
Taking seats on Bold.
Everybody at Forrester.
Everybody at Forrester. Electra definitely can take a seat. And now she can take a seat right on out that door.
For me, it's actually going to be the writing for the Brooke and Katie feud. Like, they could have amped this up a lot better. These are two talented actresses. You give them something they can sink their teeth into. Okay. And I think it would have been very entertaining.
Aisha said her birthday is on Wednesday and she'll be turning 43 years old. Happy early birthday on July 8th.
Happy
Happy
birthday.
birthday.
Hope you have some
Keish,
plans.
don't you got a
Huh?
birthday coming up, girlfriend?
I do. I got a
Oh,
couple
yeah.
weeks, the 21st.
Okay. Ooh,
Okay.
you on the cusp.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. Okay. You sure you ain't got a little Leo lion fire in you, girl?
It's a little half and half
Mm-hmm. She said a little bit, just a
when I
little
look
bit.
at the different characteristics. Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
little half and half.
I got you.
I understand. I'm on the cusp myself.
Yeah, so
I
am
get it.
I. Well, I'm a little bit off, but yeah. Um, but yeah, happy birthday, Aisha. Enjoy your day coming up.
Happy birthday.
And Belinda just called Brooke a narcissist, so.
Yeah. Well,
That's true.
that's how she's always been.
That is true.
All right. Okay, and then because we're flipping bold, right? No, we're seating bold, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, y'all got y'all seats in, and I said
Yeah.
Electra. Electra definitely could take a seat. So, all right, star of the week, YNR.
I'm gonna give it to Stacey Haddock,
Yeah, that
who
girl is
plays
unhinged.
who plays Patty, the talented actress.
Yeah, as much as I hate this storyline, I mean, she did a good job at playing unhinged.
Yes, without question.
Yeah, so I can agree. Star bold, and like I said, I'm gonna give it to Crew because that man, when he turned dark, I'm like, who? Whoa.
I
Um,
oh
I'll go ahead, Keish.
I was going to I was gonna say KKL this week. She had a confrontation with uh what's her name? With Katie and Hope.
Mm-hmm.
Um so I thought she did really well.
Okay.
Especially she kinda got a little physical with Katie. They were
Mm-hmm.
pushing each other and doing a little slap boxing right before Hope walked in, and then her confrontation with Hope, and
Okay.
that's the first time we've ever seen Brooke actually hold Hope accountable. Because my prediction was that when this happened, she was going to blame Steffi and Katie, which she did. She did blame Katie, but she actually kept Steffi out of it this time, and she
Mm.
told Hope,
Mm-hmm.
you lied to me, you did this and blah blah blah, and
No. Okay.
so yeah, I enjoyed her performance.
Cool beans.
Uh, I was Then I'll actually give it to Heather Tom because I think that she also deserved um, a star of the week. I think for the past couple of weeks, Heather Tom has been wearing it out.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I wish they give both KKL and her like some more to work with and really build up a feud. But I think these are fine choices for stars of the week.
With all that screaming and stuff, hopefully they had some water on standby. Cause I'm telling you, I'm like,
Mm.
and I don't know how many takes they had to do. I'm like, holy crap.
I hope he gets nominated for his Emmy for the younger actor category.
Who, Crew?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be nice. It'd be nice. I know Josh would be very proud of his son.
Yeah, because he'll get an Emmy before his dad.
Right.
I don't think he's done it. Well, I can't say he hasn't done anything. I feel like what's been happening with him the last few months has been maybe some Emmy worthy stuff. I don't know about last year's storylines for
I
him
know.
though.
When he
Stuff with
first.
Luna, and he got the essay.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
yeah.
it just wasn't. I mean, it was not to say that he wasn't good. I just felt like she took over that storyline more than what he
Then he
did,
did.
if that makes
Didn't
sense.
she get an Emmy last year?
Yeah, for the
She
perform from
From
when she like
2020.
locked up Steffi.
Right, from
Yeah.
2024. Okay.
Yeah. So like what the stuff that Crew's doing right now, he would be eligible for next
Yeah,
year.
for 27.
Mhm.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I definitely have seen a lot from when he first came on the show to now. He has definitely grown in this role.
Yes, he has.
Because it
Yes, he
seemed like he
has.
was really trying to get accustomed to it in the very beginning, and then as
Mhm.
time went on, it just became smooth for him. And then
Oh
seeing
yeah.
how I could see him in something else. Some of these movies or something. He obviously got aspirations.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm wondering how long is he going to stay in the soap world, but this is definitely a stepping stone for
If he does decide to
him. Right.
completely separate and go into just movies, because I know that he has said in interviews before that um he wants to do, and I think he has done maybe a movie or two or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Um, but yeah.
I actually thought he was the oldest child. Actually, he's the second oldest. I think it's three of them. There's a
Oh, okay.
brother older than him, and then it's him, and then there he got a little sister. They're
Oh, I
all.
didn't know they had. I thought for whatever reason thought they were all boys.
They have a daughter.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
is he the only actor?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the older boy is, and he's not into the acting world.
Mm.
Nope. Um. Yeah. So okay, everybody got their stars in. Pick a little week, YNR.
Um, Mine is actually going to go to Josh Griffin for the Matt Clark stuff. And I mean, I just want it better for Roger because
Yeah.
there's so much potential with him and Michelle. Like, ah, yeah. So Josh Griffin, he definitely gets a pickle on his way out the door.
Yeah, I agree with that. This whole sweep storyline is just not it. It's just not, I mean, if you thought us to be excited and look forward,
Look
I look
forward. Oh,
forward to watching, Bold, even though it's all over the place a little bit, but I look forward to seeing what happens next. We always talking about it in the
Mm-hmm.
live chat, you know what I mean? Um, but Young and the Restless, it's like, what are we doing? So
mhm.
yeah,
You never want a show to feel like a task to watch, and that's
exactly.
what YNR feels like to me. I feel like it's a task to sit down and watch it.
Wow, that's a good way to put it, Keish. It is. Sometimes when I see it's only one particular, it's like, oh God, I'm going to get through it. Hopefully something to spark my
Right.
interest. You know what I mean? I'm going
Yep.
to get through it, but yeah, you
I
know.
have to be doing something when YNR is on. Like I
Hmm.
can't just sit down and watch it.
Yeah, I got you. All right, then we have our pickle bold.
RJ,
Yeah, he shouldn't have took his butt over there.
he crying about everything, crying about this jewelry line more than what just happened to his family's company.
Or even what his sister did. Y'all said that earlier.
Yeah.
You mad
Yeah.
at Will, but your sister is the catalyst in all of this.
Yeah.
Why you ain't go to your sister and say, "How could you do this to mom?"
Right. That should have been your first concern. If you're that upset, that should have been your first concern.
Mm-hmm. No, he went over there and got his butt whooped.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Right up in somebody else's house for a girl who don't want to be with him, at least for right now.
You know what it reminds me of? What it kind of reminds me of is how, with the whole like Liam, Hope, Steffi thing, how Thomas was always more concerned about how Hope was feeling and, um, what was going on with her versus how his sister was feeling
So do
when there was some
you?
drama that would pop off.
So is RJ in the Thomas type position?
I don't feel like they're making him so far. They don't seem to be trying to put him on the same track of instability like they did with Thomas when he came back in 2019. Um, but I have seen some people say that he's acting like Thomas,
Mm.
and I don't see that. I don't
Okay.
think that they've gone that direction with him.
Right.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool.
It's
Yeah.
just his obsession with Electra. No, I won't say obsession. His need to continuously like be worried about Electra's happiness and well-being over anything else is what reminds me of Thomas when it comes to how he was with Hope.
Yeah. That makes sense. But Electra is about to yeah, she's gonna get that spot from me. That girl is irritating. She is really irritating. She get that pickle this week. All right, we done with all of the pickles.
Yeah.
All right, Simple Olympics.
I don't know why this week was harder for me. Um, so for bronze, I actually had Dr. Larry Markham.
Yeah.
He he in desperation to get some box. Um, Kane is also going to be silver for his desperation to get box too this week with that dialogue he had with Lily.
Mm.
Gold is going to go to Will because he is still fighting for this girl who clearly is not worthy and will never be a true adult in a relationship with him, and she'll always be selfish. And then platinum is going to go to RJ. You
Yep.
barging in people's houses for absolutely no reason.
I agree.
That's not even your girlfriend.
Exactly.
And you're crying over a jewelry line that ain't got nothing to the big grand scheme of things.
Nope. I agree. I'm gonna give it to. I'm gonna get a platinum to Patty because you going through all of this just to get with Jack. I mean, this whole elaborate from start to finish, even though it was Victor's plan, you signed up to do this just to assume that this man will eventually want you. And it didn't happen. And you go through a whole kidnapping with Markham, which he gets also on that list as well, because he thought that he was going to get with Diane, you know. And then the other two is RJ and Will. I mean, it's just like this girl standing in the middle of y'all looking at y'all like, I got them right where I want them.
Yeah.
Two cousins beating on each other.
She was loving every minute of that.
Yes, she was.
That's
and
why
then you helped him. You helped the intruder out the door.
she and Hope could be sisters.
That's crazy. All right, and then the audacity.
Whoo-wee, Electra, she earned that this
Yes, she
week.
did.
She said, I'm going to snatch this award up. She got it. It's hers.
Yeah, I mean, she got a big old gold crown on her head for the Audacity Award. Absolutely.
I mean, she was childish, unrealistic, selfish. She earned it. There's no one else I can think of. This was her week. She got it. It's all hers.
I agree.
No one else is gonna fight her about it.
Yeah, that's crazy. Ooh, Lord. Anyway. All right. So, I know I did a spoiler video for The Young and the Restless. If you haven't checked that out, the spoilers hadn't came out on that Friday afternoon. I think for Bold, it didn't come out until yesterday. They always so slow with that. And of course, I had a busy weekend with the 4th and everything. But I do know that we got some Sheila Carter drama coming this week. Their marriage, I think by either Thursday or Friday, Sheila and Deacon's marriage will be officially final. Finn get an unexpected visitor. I remember that type of spoilers and stuff like that. So Pretty interesting stuff. I did see the spoilers for Beyond the Gates. You know, I it didn't give me what Kat's answer was. I didn't get a chance to see today episode, but from what I understand, um, Keish watched it and kind of got us up to speed that Kat said no, you know,
Yay.
to Tomas. And then a
Great.
lot of other drama coming up this week. When it comes to um, what's that girl named Naomi? I think she's going to tell her mom and Jacob that she carrying that BRCA gene.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's supposed to be coming out, I think, this week, and some other stuff with Deanna and all that with her mom and stuff like that. So Beyond the Gates is back, so we'll definitely have some more conversation about that next week. Cool.
Yep.
So, y'all got anything else before we shut it down?
Nope.
Nope. Okay. Well, hopefully you guys had a wonderful weekend, and stay tuned. I'm probably might pop and do a couple of standalone videos this week. We shall see. And then otherwise, stay tuned for everything for the week of the 6th through the 10th. And then until next time, we'll see you all later. Bye, Soapies.
Good night.